imagine a person that was destined to be a lion who is now living like a church rat? It's a worthy question. And that for me is what I would consider an opening conversation as far as audacity is concerned. The reckoning that there is a future. There is a future and a fortune that has been reserved for you, for your dispensation, for this hour, for this year, but you have to forge into it. So audacity is the refusal to be harassed by the difference between where you are and where you can be. Audacity is the refusal to be harassed by the tangential difference between the vision you received and the reality you are currently manifesting. Does anyone understand what I'm highlighting here? Have you been in a place where you are setting your goal for the year and you're like, how will these things be? You're seeing the impact you want to create in your industry, but you're not even a decision maker in your organization. Or you have an idea for a tech solution, but you're looking at the giants. And you're like, nobody trained me. I didn't even get into Andela. Why am I sleepless about this vision? Audacity says yes. When there are environmental realities that are trying to condition you to say no. So before I even highlight a few of those wind finders, if we're saying that audacity is our refusal to be harassed by the difference between where we are and where we see that we can go, what are the factors, the fuel, the infusion of strength or explosive energy that can transition you from your fear to faith, that can transition you from destitution to destiny, that can transition you from confusion to consolidation? How do you move from overwhelm to opportunity? How do you shift your mindset into a realm of remarkable results? How can you believe bigger? The first thing that I find for the visionary on the path to audacity is what I've been highlighting about the power of a vision. You've got to see something bigger than you. You have to. You've got to believe for something bigger than you. And for anyone who is saying, DDK, I'm not really sure about this vision conversation, I don't even know where I'm going, I have 3 books to recommend to you. If you are at the base, and you're like, does my life even have meaning? I challenge you to start with The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. And I know a number of you have heard that book, so I don't want you to just shake your head and be like, of course, with I think a book we know. No. In fact, if you've read it before, if you have to go back, go back. If you're in a place of great confusion or despair, right? If life has happened and you have to awaken again to a fresh sense of conviction, go to The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren. If you're at a place where you've been working and walking in a dimension of purpose, you've been serving, you're already creating value, but you feel a sense of being called to do more, and you want to break out of your fear, or you want to break out of a smallness, and you want to be able to repackage yourself as a personal brand, be able to tell the story of the value you create or can create, and you want to be intentional about pushing yourself into rooms where stakeholders that are relevant for your future will be able to find you, then you go for the book Believe Bigger by Marshawn Evans. M-A-R-S-H-A-W-N. Believe Bigger by Marshawn Evans. The simplicity is breathtaking, and it's a book you can actually break because it's got different sections, but it's a book to read early on in the year because it just sort of starts to shift your game as a person of purpose, and it really clarifies for you how to show up across your different roles without losing the essence of your original DNA. And now, if you're already in purpose and you are already creating value, your brand is growing, and you find yourself seeking, number one, harmony. You are executing your vision, but you feel like there's a need for you to evolve into a stronger character. if you are on the path of legacy, if you are in search of a powerful team to build the vision with, and you are now in the season of systemizing. Even if you're not, this book is still great, but I'm just making it progressive. If you were on that journey I've been describing, and you're done with Believe Bigger, you feel ready for building a stronger system in your life, creating the right habits, and being able to scale the vision that you've already received to the next level, then I would recommend that you go for Hello Tomorrow. Hello Tomorrow by Dr. Cindy Triin is definitely a powerful resource that you should interact with. So vision is an open door for audacity. You've got to see something that is bigger than you. From 2014, I had been running email-based courses in my coaching business, and was doing good. By 2016, I had taken it beyond myself, trained and certified other coaches who now started to deliver the same program, and we moved from 200 people to about 1,800, and wow, it was really looking good in my mind. And then by 2019, I can't forget how December 2018, having fun with the family, and I started to pray and say, so what is next with this whole email-based coaching program and having all these WhatsApp groups? What is next? This doesn't look like it can really scale, because it still depends on me to a degree. And the vision of a subscription-based membership entered my mind. Like, why don't we transition from these email-based courses, create a technology where people can log in, access the videos, and they have these communities, get automated emails. Now you're listening to me and you may be feeling normal now. No, it wasn't that way in December 2018. It was still alien to me and to many people in the space. And I came into the year and really began to research. I spent January to May, transitioning our systems, rebuilding our organogram, hiring more, letting some people go, and just setting everything up. And there was nothing in the environment or even in the way that the customer configuration looked that made sense for me to be making this investment in technology, but it was the vision that gave me that level of audacity. So I was working with, a developer, a tech partner, and we're building out this platform. And then when it got to May and we were ready, I felt like, let's have this free course that could allow us introduce the platform and welcome people on board. So we had what was called Ignition Intensive, and I didn't even really make a marketing spend on it because I didn't know how to invest that way in marketing. But anyway, reached out on social media and to my mailing list and said, creating this program, come on board. And we had 4,650 registrations. I said, wait, what? Because you don't know that the moment you're responding to the vision, those that you are sent to will start to gravitate toward that same vision. And we had that number. My mind was blown. Had a great time 2019. People onboarded, paid for the membership. 2020, we got into a lockdown. And the moment I came into that year, I could tell that something was shifting about that year, right? And I'm taking you somewhere, and I'll round it up very shortly. Got into the year, and I started to say to my team, we have to make room for more harvest. Then there was the lockdown, and people were complaining, but I said to myself, people have time, and they depend more on the internet now. They're not going anywhere. So coaching has a greater appeal because they are not at work. Most people are not at work. They're not distracted, and they need to keep their mind sane. So we opened up Activation Intensive, and hey, come on board. I'm going to coach you, and I'll teach you what you need to know to get through these times. And we had about almost 35,000 people who registered. And that singular intensive became the inflection point for our coaching organization. And by 2024, we've turned 10 years now, and we've served almost 80,000 direct learners on our coaching platform. So why am I saying this to you? Audacity is about saying, I see it and I will seize it. Vision. A second critical factor for you, if you're going to make this year your year, is about catalytic communities. What did I call it? Catalytic communities. Communities that catalyze you. Communities that activate a chain of reactions that push you out of your comfort zone into a new realm of manifestation. You must seek out communities where people exist whose current reality is the future you anticipate. You must belong to communities where people are experiencing as a normal, natural phenomenon the things that you are looking forward to. This thing is more powerful than books. Books are great, and I am an absolute fan of learning, but I'm telling you, there's a supreme approach to learning where you activate osmosis and all manner of chemical reactions by being in the same zone. Because they're not just inspiring you with their lives. What they're doing is that they are shattering what is called your possibility blindness. You need rooms where your possibility blindness is shattered. I'm going to give you another example. 2019. Would that be your 2021? 2021. I was trying to buy myself an SUV, and I was dreaming about it. And you know, the moment you want to buy a car, you start to see it everywhere on the road. So I'll just be looking at it in different colors. I'll be like, should I do white or silver? I'll see myself coming out of it. It'll be like black, because black, yeah. Alone, just privately dilly-dallying. And then I reached out to a car dealer, or a number of car dealers, but I ultimately reached out to a car dealer that I thought there was such a sync, and then I asked, how much does this car go for? And by the time he told me how much it was going for, I then started to say to myself, maybe I don't need a new car. Because the car that I have right now is even an SUV too, and it's serving the purpose. It's doing well. Do you understand this? So I was in that state, and I had reached back to the car dealer saying, look, maybe not now, maybe sometimes next year, or sometimes later in the year. Then I went to visit my mentor, a billionaire mentor of mine. Welcome, sirs. Celebrate you. Good to have you. Please, let's celebrate Sir Stephen Akintayo and my brother Chris Omojiade. Let's do it better. Good to have each of you. You're welcome. So I went to visit my billionaire mentor, and we're having a conversation, and she just randomly said, do you know that when I turned 40, I bought one of the 5 limited editions of a S-Class series of Benz, and I was the only woman in Nigeria who had it at 40. And I said, ma, please repeat yourself. Just let me hear you clearly, please. As I got out, and she just said that, and I must say this, and then what she said was, do you know why I did it? No, I asked. I said, why? Why would you do that? Why would you spend that much money? She said,